Greetings, creatures of the internet, humans, trolls, and other. Today we will talk about naming your new character. First, some general tips. Talk with your game master. He's there to help you. He can tell you about rules of setting you are using or world he created that apply to naming characters. Unless you are playing some kind of comedic setting, don't make name of your character a joke. Don't make it stupid or silly. Names are important. Don't use names of established fictional characters. It will be distracting and it will break immersion. Never, ever use your own name or nickname. I've seen new players do that, and it always ended in misery. They subconsciously took every event in the game too personally. Every fail, every instance of bad luck, every conflict with other players' characters. Just don't do this. Unless you're an experienced player and you can keep right perspective at all times. Just do everybody a favor and don't do this. Okay, enough of that. Now let's talk about names in realistic and semi-realistic settings. Firstly, don't use names of other players. It will be needlessly confusing. Choose a name that will be rare or a little exotic. It makes it more memorable. There are sites like BehindTheName.com where you can check out not only lists of names from different languages and cultures, but also their meaning. It's quite handy. Make the name possibly short for ease of use. If you choose name like Esteban Julio Ramiro Juan Rodriguez de la Roja and insist on using full name of your character each time, it may be funny, but also cause some problems. And yes, I had such a character in one of my games. And now my favorite part, fantasy names. I don't advise using name generators. Most of them just spew some gibberish that sounds bad. Besides, it's much better to personally choose something so essential to your character as their name. So, what can you consider when choosing a name? Number 1. Tribe. If your character comes from a tribal society, they can use the name of their tribe as their own last name. Maybe your character gets last name after some achievement or important event in their lives, like Stormborn, Fire Dancer, or Bear Hunter. In this tribe, there may be a tradition of giving baby names and adult names. Maybe even your first level character now tries to pass some trials to get their adult name. Number 2. Family and inheriting a name. We take this one for granted, but it may not be such a simple case. Maybe parents don't have last names of their own. In this situation, you can use first name of father, like Grundar, son of Dormon, or Leliana, daughter of Grundar. Of course, in your setting, name of the mother may be more important, so we will get like Bron, son of Leliana. Why not? Maybe in your setting, last names are inherited from mother's side, not father's. Or even different. In my setting, elves will inherit stronger name, meaning after parent of nobler house. Number 3a. Social class, noble houses. This one is a big thing. Being of noble birth will impact your character in many ways, so talk about it with your game master. If he agrees, ask him about noble houses already existing in fantasy world you are using. There is also another option. Your character can be a illegitimate child, aka a bastard. Are they legitimized and will use name of their noble parent? Maybe not, and they will use changed version of the name. Or maybe there are traditional bastard names, like Snow and Sand in Game of Thrones. Number 3. Social class, lowborns. If your character is a lowborn, they may not even have any last name. Maybe they are known by their profession, Brian the Fighter or Grognak the Barbarian. Maybe by their most important physical characteristic, Redhead Jenny, Big John, Tiny Tim. Maybe by their birthplace, Joffrey from the Valley, or Darkwood Maud, or Graham of Old Town. For my sessions, I created a tradition popular especially in nomadic tribes and among adventurers. When a child is born during travel, it will get last name of town or place where it was born. For instance, Esmeralda born in the village Silvernet near the sea can be named Esmeralda Silvernet or Esmeralda Seashore, depending on parents' decision. Number 4. Birthplace. Different regions of the world can have different kinds of names. For example, in my fantasy world, people from North and Far East have Japanese-inspired names like Keshai or Kirigirizu. People from South have made-up names like Kesh, Mazan, Ramos or Treshard. Humans from East have traditionally one-word last names like Black, Snow or Oak, and those from West adopted Elven tradition of two-word last names. Number 5. Races. Going back to my fantasy world, elves and dwarfs traditionally have two-word last names like Goldcloak, Hammerfist, Greenleaf, Red Sky, or Stoneskin. Orcs have harsh-sounding names with apostrophe like Kazul, Graktur, Kadon, Barrak, Porviaz, Tergror. Goblins like long names with some specific letters, mostly B, D, G, H, so their names can sound like Bobzmagut, Dugugobotdan, or Hudduzog. Names of lizard folk are Hissen-like with lot of S and Z and X, like Xasaril Sozarax. Okay, what if you want just to make up some names? One thing you can do is to take some existing word and tweak it a little. Add something, change some letters or order of them. From fire you can get Fireg, or Fier, or Efir. From candy, Kander, Diken, Nagdi. It is simple and fast way. Just choose whatever sounds good for you. Second way to go is a little more demanding, but cool. Find a dictionary of some exotic or dead language, and here you go. Endless amounts of inspiration. For instance, you can name your character Baltanu, which in Akkadian language means handsome. Last thing to cover in this video. Nicknames. If your character has some very distinct quality, it is your best bet. It may be physical, like Big One or Red Nose. It may be mental, Smarty, Hotshot. It may be connected to the special talent, like Bullseye. Or it may be ironic, like Little One for your 2 meters high barbarian orc. If you already have the rest of your character well thought out, you can find some ideas here. Maybe Fishbone for a guy who really likes to eat fish, or Squirrel for a guy who likes climbing trees, or Black Eye for a guy who often got himself into brawls. Just don't go overboard with epic nicknames, especially when you are creating a low-level character. Maybe it is better idea to just start with no nickname and get one after some cool stunt or achievement. It will be all for today. Thank you for listening. I hope it helps. I wish you all great role-playing experiences.